mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts! How do we like our martial arts? We like them mixed at the Apex this weekend. It's very exciting. It's very exciting.
I mean, that's probably the best you could do here. And we're about to discuss a card that may have less fights than it had heading in. We'll talk about that and much more here on the UFC Vegas 95 preview show. As you can see, the two men, Marcin Tybura, Serghei Spivac, the world has been clamoring for these two to run it back 4 years later. And by God, you're going to get it tomorrow night at the world's most famous Apex. Welcome to the show. I am Mike Heck. I was not even aware of this until about 10 seconds ago, but joining me, New York Rick, to preview UFC Vegas 95. I was not even aware of this. What a surprise. How are you, sir?
Surprise, I'm here. I'm doing well. I'm excited about Saturday. Like, you can't beat that action. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. As of right this second, 10 fights, which is a very good number for an Apex card. 7 p.m. main card, very good number for an Apex card. But now we might have less fights, New York Rick, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this. The weigh-ins just ended. Not one, not two, but 3 fighters missed weight, including Chelsea Chandler, who missed weight by 5 pounds for her bout with Yana Santos. 141. What the hell are we doing here, New York Rick? Why are they forcing this poor woman who has never made bantamweight to continuously cut to this weight class, to miss weight, and then forfeit a bunch of her purse, and then get into a fist fight and hopefully win to make up for that forfeiture? It's crazy.
Because it's what we deserve as MMA fans who consistently tune in for this product that has become, at times, extremely depressing. It seems like the fighters care about this card as much as we do. Based on the level of professionalism when it comes to making weight here this morning. So yeah, it is what it is. Look, this is the most filler replacement level. Nobody is, gonna be upset if they don't know the results of what happened Saturday card that we've had in a long time. And the weigh-in this morning seems to have confirmed that. The fighters feel the same way.
Danny Barlow missed weight by a quarter pound and did not reweigh, which is pretty much goes by everything you just talked about. Chepe Mariscal missed weight by 3.5 pounds, which Damon Jackson broke the news like 30 minutes before weigh-in started that he's going to miss weight. And boy, did he. We still await penalties and what is going to happen with these fights. I assume the Mariscal-Jackson fight will move forward. I assume the Barlow-Nikolai Vertenikov fight will move forward. I'm not so sure about the Chelsea Chandler fight if that moves forward, New York Rick. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it'll depend on the health, but also, sometimes you just need to get in there and stay active and get the check. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does continue, but that one's the iffiest, certainly.
Yes. Well, New York Rick, let's talk about this main event. We got the rematch of all rematches, Marcin Tybura versus Serghei Spivac. This is the most Apex main event that you could just find. Like when you think of this rematch, this just screams Apex main event to me. And Serghei Spivac looking for a little revenge, New York Rick. Storylines galore, looking to exercise the demons of Marcin Tybura beating him 4 years ago. Where are the excitement levels for this one? 1 to 10? Are we at a 6? Are we lower?
A 6?
Where are we at?
A 6? I mean, look, the heavyweight division in the UFC is a wasteland, right? So certainly, like, the idea that these guys are ranked is going to, increase interest in certain capacity, but like in any other division, like this fight really doesn't have a lot on the line and there's not a lot of stakes. It's not a bad fight, right? I don't want to go out there and say it's a bad fight. I just think it's missing the sizzle, it's missing the pizzazz, it's missing whatever it is in terms of being a main event. But it's not a bad fight. Like they're both capable and competent fighters, and stylistically, like it should be decent. It's not. Tybura has a tendency to make fights a slog, but I mean that's how he wins. And ultimately, like if he picks up another win, he's on a nice little run. So I don't hate the fight. I just don't feel like it's necessary to have been a main event or that this is the rest of this card. Like these fights could have been distributed elsewhere and we could have had a week off. But it's not a terrible fight. If I'm being honest, like if we're looking at it objectively, it is not a terrible fight. It's a compelling fight between two guys that if this was the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh fight of a fight card, like be pretty good, be decent.
Do you remember their first fight at all?
Yeah, I mean, I do remember Spivak, Tybura being like pretty successful in shutting down Spivak's game, and like other than that, there wasn't much going on, right? It wasn't like it was like a barn burner. I think Spivak has come a long way since then. Like I think he's shown some different things in his skill set since that first fight, and I'm interested to see how that kind of looks. But I wouldn't also be surprised if Tybura is also just able to stifle him again. So I remember it, but it wasn't like, believe me, it wasn't on my fight of the year list at the end of that year. I'll tell you that.
For those who are not aware, these two fought on Leap Year Day, February 29th, 2020. UFC Norfolk was the card. Flyweight title on the line between Davis and Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez. That was the main event of that card. The co-main event was Felicia Spencer versus Zara Fiern. So, yeah, we're kind of sticking to what co-main events look like at the Apex. Yeah, this card is wild. Megan Anderson, Norma Dumont was on this card as well.
By the way, looking back at it, it was the fifth fight of that card. So that's exactly like where what I said. Like that's where this fight belongs. It's the fourth through seventh fight of a card. But again, it's truly true. Like I mean this when I say this. I don't want to be too negative about it. Like it's not a bad fight. It is not a bad fight.
No.
Like these guys are good fighters. And there's times where we're looking at fights that like some fighters are not like good level fighters. These are good level fighters. It's just there's a real chance that it kind of like stalls out. There's a real chance that there's not a ton of action. There's a real chance there's a lot of clinching. But I don't hate it. Like they're good, and it has some stakes in the heavyweight division, like not a ton, right? Like I don't expect that either of these guys is going to be cracking into the title picture, but they're kind of the guys who will be fighting the 1-away, 2-away title contention guys. So, there's something here, but it does not feel like a main event.
I was going to ask you if like what the stakes were for this one, because this division is just a mess, dude. John Jones is one champion. Tom Aspinall is another champion. Stipe is going to fight John. Tom is going to want to fight John, but probably won't fight John or Stipe. So we're trying to figure this out. Like what are these guys actually fighting for here? Like you mentioned the winner 2 wins away from a title shot guy, but who are those fighters right now?
Well, I mean, realistically, like it's the 1 or 2 away because it's heavyweight and because this division's so weak. I'm looking at the UFC rankings and like, all right, I'm going to read these names. Tom Aspinall, John Jones at the top, John Jones champion, Tom Aspinall interim champion, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Stipe Miocic, Jalton Almeida, and then you get to Marcin Tybura, and then you get to Serghei Spivac. Underneath, Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Alexander Romanov, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and Rodrigo Nascimento. They are the exact equator. They are the line. They number 8 and 9, Marcin Tybura and Serghei Spivac are the exact line of anybody that you believe can compete for a title is above them, and anybody you believe cannot compete for a title is below them. That is what it is. And so what's on the line is like I don't expect them to move much. I expect them to fight like a Jalton Almeida next, or certainly not a Stipe, right? Like I don't think Stipe's got more in him than the John Jones fight, and I don't think, but like Curtis Blades, like bounce back, maybe. This is what's at stake, is like to be a 1 or 2 fight away from a heavyweight title shot guy. Like that's what's on the line. If they prove me wrong, look, there's a real world where one of them wins this fight and then wins that next one where the guy who was 1 or 2 away loses. Then you start to like really talk yourself into weird heavyweight title conversations because this division is just so shallow. But that it really feels like there's not a lot on the line, and they're not going to move in the rankings, and they are 8 and 9 respectively. Like they are fighting to stay exactly in the middle.
So the over under on this fight, New York Rick, 3.5. Over 3.5 is -120. Under 3.5 is -110.
Yeah.
It's basically a coin flip here. So if the $20 bill of magic fell in your hands, is this fight going to the cards? Is it not going to the cards? What are we thinking?
But think about what we're saying here. In a heavyweight 5-round fight, over 3.5 is you said it was minus money, right? It was
-120.
Yeah, so it is expected to go over 3.5 at a heavyweight fight. Again, not bad fighters. Stylistically, though, there is a real world where that outcome kind of plays out. I could see it going that way. I could see Tybura just really like grinding on him, like in the first fight. I don't think that's an impossible outcome. But as I said, like I think Spivac's like really got some seasoning since then. And I think he brings some things to the table that are dangerous and kind of interesting. But heavyweight over 3.5 being minus money is rough for a main event. That is what it is.
Well, let's go to the actual betting odds here. Serghei Spivac, despite losing their first meeting, is the favorite, -162. Comeback on Marcin Tybura, +136. New York Rick. What do we got?
I'm a little surprised just because of the style of Tybura, but also not because, as I said, like I feel like Spivac has improved and really has some tools that could potentially give him trouble. I just think Tybura is somebody who is going to make it as difficult as possible for you to be able to utilize those tools. That is his skill. His skill is neutralization. His skill is making it a grindy fight. And so whether Spivac is able to like execute what he needs, I think remains to be seen. So I have to be honest. I didn't look at the line. I'm a little bit surprised. I feel like Tybura is where I would like lean a little bit, especially at plus money. But it's one of those fights. Like I could see the improvements for Spivac just being so massive. And it's just like, he was better. He was just better by the time this second fight came around. But again, over 3.5 being -120 or whatever it was is a real indictment on the level of action we might see.
I kind of think we're gonna get a finish here, New York Rick.
I mean, look,
feel it. Yeah, I feel it.
It's not like it's over. It's not like it's over 3.5 -400, right? There's some fights where going into a card, you're like, I can plop down money on the over. Hell, I could go fight. I could go over 4.5, and I'm still gonna hit it. It's equal on both sides of that on the other side of the 3.5. So I don't think a finish is out of the question. Would I be surprised? Yeah, I think it's going to decision. If I'm being honest, I think it's going to decision, but it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee by any means. I look. So if you think it could be a finish, I'm assuming it's Spivac that you think would be the one to get the finish, right? Yeah.
Ground and pound.
Yeah.
Kind of situation. Just take him down, wear on him in round one, then you kind of rinse and repeat in round two and get him out of there. Tybura's just getting old. He's getting up there in age. Sure. He's more seasoned in that regard. And like you said, Spivac has improved tremendously since that first fight 4 years ago. And Spivac's not going to fight for a title or anything like that, but he's very solid hand. He's just a very solid hand. He's
Tybura.
A perfect equator fighter. Yeah. Fighter.
Tybura's been that guy in that spot. Maybe it's like a kill the master situation. Spivac takes out Tybura, gets his revenge, rematch is completed, and then he becomes that equator guy for the foreseeable future. And he just, carries that mantle.
For a long time, we've kind of retired the middleweight title. This could be for the heavyweight title. Like this is a big deal. This is a big deal fight. We're adding some stakes to this one. We have Chepe Mariscal versus Damon Jackson, the co-main event. Danny Barlow versus Nikolai Veretennikov. Barlow, huge favorite in that fight. We're still waiting word on whether or not that fight's going to happen. I assume it will. Same with the co-main event. We have Chris Gutierrez versus Kwang Lee. making his UFC debut, Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler. We might lose 3 of these freaking fights, New York Rick, on the main
I hope
card.
not.
But yeah, I think we'll probably just maybe lose one. But who's a fighter? What's a fight that no one's really talking about here that you're just like, you know what? I'm pretty pumped for this one.
No one's talking about changes because I feel like everybody's like pick for this card is Chepe and Damon Jackson, right? Like everybody who's like, what's the one thing I can find on this card that I'm absolutely gonna love? It's the Chepe and Jackson fight. So if you're making my mission like one that not everybody's talking about, look, I mean, I know it's further down on the card, but like Karol Hossa and Pani Kianzad is a important fight in that division. Like it has stakes that a lot of these other fights do not. I've also been really, really impressed. I mean, it's only been one performance. I was actually impressed before, but it's only been one performance since he returned to the UFC for Yusuf Zalal. But like, he looked like the first run was not his best. Basically, it looked like he was just like not ready for that at the time. Went away, got a little seasoning, and came back like a bat out of hell. So I'm excited to see Yusuf Zalal like kind of continue that in return. But that's it. Like there's not a ton here that I'm digging too deep into.
Yeah. Look, this is, hey, if you're stuck inside and it's pouring rain and you don't want to leave the house, I don't think this is gonna be like a terrible viewing experience.
No, the fights themselves are not bad, right?
Yeah.
Like the fights are okay. It's just if you can feel the lack of care that they put into creating this card, and that translates for our side.
Yeah, 100%. As we get ready for UFC 305. You know what? Let's bring Casey in. Let's hear from the peeps because maybe they have more intelligent questions to ask than I do when it comes to this card because there's just not a lot of layers here. It's just they're fights, and that's fine. But there's not a lot of story here. Although the first fight of the night is also a rematch between Talita Alencar and Stephanie Luciano. So there you go.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hello, Casey.
Hi. By the way, still waiting on fines and whether or not these fights are going to happen. So we'll let you know as soon as we know. We got AK on the scene. He will let us know.
All right. Let's hit super chats first. We got a super chat from our wonderful friend Ryan Leaf.
The quarterback? Wow.
The quarterback. Yes. He dropped $2.
Certainly one of the fight cards of all time.
Well done, Ryan.
I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I wish that, when the UFC writes the little promos and stuff, especially for these Apex cards, they had the guy at the beginning, just like Tybura Spivac 2, certainly one of the fight cards of all time.
It's a fight.
Okay, let me ask you a genuine question. Obviously the UFC knows, right, how this product compares to their other products, right? Like, and I'm saying like another fight night, a pay-per-view. They're not dumb. They understand how this stacks up. Do you think they care? Like, do you think that they want in any part of them to say like we have a level of quality for each card that we need to hit? And maybe the circumstances didn't allow us to do this, or do you think it's more craven and it's just like, we can get away with it?
A little column A, a little column B.
Yeah, I think I fall there too. I think it's like they give a little bit of effort to be like, hey, we can't have it be at this spot, but if they can't pull it off, they're just like, they'll eat it.
Yeah,
I think
because they're gonna get a bunch of money. There are people who are gonna watch it. They'll probably sell a few subscriptions regardless. Yeah, we're gonna watch it. The hardcore fans will watch. But you can also see the difference in the quality of the rest of the Apex cards that are on the books right now. And you could tell that a TV deal negotiation is about to happen because we go from this very Apexy main event to a little step higher. We get Cannonier versus Baralio. But then we get Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady, which is a damn good fight. We get Brandon Royval versus Tetsuro Taira. That's a damn good fight. We get Michel Pereira versus Anthony Hernandez. That's a damn good fight. So we're starting to get a little better as we move through the year, but yeesh,
those are all at the Apex?
Yep.
Oh damn. I think you're right. I think this is like much like the heavyweight main event is like a equator like demarcation line for like contenders and not contenders. I think this is the like switch flip for, hey, we got a TV deal coming up. Let's put some real fights on for the rest of the fight nights. Good on you for noticing that. That's great.
Yeah. Shouts to the
Those
Heck
are
of
very
Mornings
solid main
crew.
events. Those are very
Very
solid
good.
main events.
Those are all excellent.
What are the two gentlemen ranked in this fight? Are they both top 10?
Eight and 9 in UFC.
8 and 9 UFC.
I
See,
don't
that's
know. I didn't check
so
ours.
ranking wise, this is and both coming off wins, correct? Yeah, both coming off
Yes.
wins. This is a very in the very very just sports aspect. This is a very relevant main event for an Apex card, even more so than maybe those upcoming ones because but I get the names just aren't big, even though they're heavyweights. Just the names.
Yeah, but here's the big problem. And our rankings I just referenced, we have Tybura 8 and Spivac 10. So very similar to the
Yeah.
UFCs. But like again, I'm going to list the names ahead of them. Tom Aspinall, John Jones, Alexander Volkov, Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich, Cyril Gane, Jalton Almeida. Like these are the title contenders of the division, and it doesn't feel like anybody from below that is
Can
cracking
jump in there. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, you're right, and that's the thing. It's not the actual rankings of this fight or their win streaks. It's just no one believes that there's any stakes in this fight outside of
Yeah.
their own personal interest. Of not getting beaten up.
Spivac's coming off of a loss, by the way. He got
He is?
knocked out by Cyril Gane in his last fight.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
It's been a while. First fight in almost a year for him. Third straight main event for Serghei Spivac as well.
That is,
Yeah.
and this will be the 20th walk for Tybura. It's just like these are like vets, like
Vets.
really like
Yeah.
it's like these are young Arlovskis in the making.
I mean, honestly, like Tybura's had a career kind of like that, just like hanging and being in there with the top guys. But the top 7 at heavyweight or 8, whatever it is just so firmly established. Like you can't really crack into it. It doesn't feel like guys can get over that hump. Like it's kind of like the Jalton Almeida level. I mean, you have like the rare like Derek Lewis who can just like upset the apple cart from anywhere. Like he's not ranked or ranked 10th through 15th, and then just all of a sudden nuke somebody and gets in there. But it's hard. Like it's really the top 7 and everybody else.
Yeah. And Tom Aspinall has finished both of these guys.
Yeah.
Within the last 2.5 years. So interesting.
Yeah, like, I gotta say, I kind of like Tybura. I don't know why. I'm always interested
He's
in him
cool.
just because he's so good. He's actually a very talented heavyweight. He has this kind of is he Dutch? What is he? I don't know. He's kind of a
He's not. What is he? I think he's like Eastern European.
oh
right?
Polish. He's Polish.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Moldova.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moldova.
I don't know. There's something I like about him, but I get it. But I'm also not gonna stay home if I have to to watch him. He's in that range.
What he does is not like the most exciting style, but it is an impressive thing that he is able to do. I've always been impressed with his ability to like neutralize people's weapons and then kind of just find ways to win. But that's not how they sell the pay-per-views. That's 5th fight of the card material.
I mean, and honestly, he's a bit of a what do you call it? A hype train killer.
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa, Romanov, Greg Hardy. Guys who just the UFC were clearly kind of pushing, or maybe the media were kind of, oh, this is the next guy, or like even the Tai win, like nobody wanted him to beat Tai, and he did it really. I mean, as far as fans, no one wanted him.
Yeah.
Everyone was going for Tai, and Tai lost pretty handily, and this is what Tybura does. So I don't know.
If you're just like some uber athlete or like a heavy hitter or whatever, but you're a little bit one-dimensional, he's gonna win. He's going to shut down that weapon, and he's going to beat you. That is his calling card. Like that is what it is. If you're a little more well-rounded, if you're a Tom Aspinall like next big thing hybrid type dude, then that becomes very difficult. Then that's not to say that Tom's not icing everybody, but if you're just a puncher like a Ty or Derek Lewis, like it's going to be a rough night when you're facing Tybura. That's just how that goes. I think Spivac is a little more well-rounded, but I want to see. Like we're going to have to see because I could definitely see the world where he just shuts him down. I really can see that.
All right. Thank you much. Super chat, kind of off topic, but very off topic. But
J Ray, T Ferg versus Sherdog legend Jay
Jesus.
Ellis. Book of it. Did you call in Heck of a Morning too? I got this exact question on Heck of a Morning, and it was just a mic drop. Tony Ferguson should fight Jay Ellis. Mic drop.
What is Jay Ellis's record at this point? I don't know.
His current record, according to Typology, maybe Sherdog's got a different record, but according to Typology, he has 16 wins with 110 losses.
Oh, Christ almighty.
And he is 40 years old and fighting out of
June.
Yeah, he's still fighting currently. He does some boxing.
Well, fighting.
He makes the walk. I thought he makes the damn walk.
I thought we respect fighters here.
Right. What are we doing?
Casey. You're right, Casey. I mean, it's just so atrocious. Like, has it actually like gone beyond meme? Like, it's kind of meme, but it's also kind of just like, man, this is no good. There's so little green. You can scroll for like a good 2 minutes and not see any green on Jay Ellis's record. It's rough.
But you know what's crazy? So say his fight he had in January 11th. He fought this year. He fought a guy making his pro debut. But just think about the ring announcer making his pro debut. You know, Ricky Clabo, and on the other side with 120 fights.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how you do it.
And he still gets submitted in like 1 minute. I
wonder, do people in the scene there just go like, "Oh, that's Jay"? Like, do they know ahead of time? Like, that's a 100%. Loss,
dude.
Yeah, well, he has. By the way, Jay Ellis has a more recent win in MMA than Stipe does.
Mike, you just buried Stipe 10 feet underground.
I was gonna say he has. I was gonna drop Kamaru Usman's name here because Usman got a win like 2 weeks after Jay Ellis did, and that was the last time Usman's won a fight. For all this, he should get the title shot over Shavkat talk. That's driving me up the wall. But from all accounts, here's what everybody says about Jay Ellis.
We're done.
Yeah. Here's what everybody says about Jay Ellis. Dude's real dangerous until you take him down. And then once you take him down, the fight's over. But he's very good. He's a dangerous striker, and people understand he's a dangerous striker, but he's like no grappling at all.
Okay, Mike.
You say he's a dangerous striker, but yet, according to this, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's 0-8 in boxing and Muay Thai.
Okay, but
he's a kickboxer.
But here's the thing, Mike. Here's the thing. Why do I keep saying here's the thing? I feel like Sean Strickland has really invaded my head.
Yeah.
You say that, and we say that about a lot of guys, right? It's like, oh man, if somebody gets Alex Pereira down, blah blah blah. But like, you also can't lose 100 fights. Like, not everybody is like an all-star on the feet, and then when they get taken down, they fall apart. But also loses 110 fights. Like, there has to be a threshold for being able to say you're a dangerous striker. If you are not a dangerous enough striker that like you lose 110 fights, you're not a dangerous striker. You're just not a good MMA fighter. Period. Like that's where I fall.
He's the dude that like every promoter that I've talked to that has worked with Jay Ellis said he's just an absolute delight. You can call him on literally like 2 days notice. He'll fly in, he'll fight, and then he'll take his money and go home, and then he'll come back next week if you need him to.
Oh, I bet he saved a lot of cards where a prospect that they wanted to get some shine is lacking an opponent, and they're like, Jay, it's time to step up. 3 weight classes up. Here's the call.
All right, here I come.
We're kind of joking about Jay Ellis, but Jay Ellis is actually fighters like Jay Ellis are so vital to basically any regional MMA. They are so vital to building up prospects because big prospects like they'll get they'll start their amateur career 6-0. They just can't get pro fights because no one will fight them, and it's guys like Jay Ellis that allows prospects to get like those first kind of 4 or 5 fights in their career. Once you get those first 4 or 5 fights, then the LFA's call, then whatever the Contender Series type calls, then you can start fighting opponents on your level. But those first 4 or 5 fights, unless you have like some kind of very acclaimed other combat sports background, Jay Ellis is are just vitally important to these scenes. And
Yep.
I agree with you to an extent, but then I'm like, okay, you can find a guy who's also 0-3. It doesn't have to be the guy who's got 110 losses.
But it's actually tougher than you think.
Because they quit, right? They don't fight anymore.
The 0-3 guys are like, I'm done, because like
Yeah.
they probably did good as amateur, and they lost a couple fights, and I'm assuming Jay Ellis doesn't cut weight. He probably walks around at whatever weight he's at. Probably 0-3, you got, well, if I can be 1-3 and I can have that big comeback, But
So there's like the most intriguing and fascinating fights on Jay Ellis's record are like the guys who he's fighting an 0-3 guy. Those are like, yo, what happened here? Like, why is this happening?
I mean, he's just gone through a murderer's row. I mean,
But
he's
he has
beats
to
Gerald
win over.
Mearshart
There
on
you
a
go.
high
He beat
in
Gerald
2007. But then look at, like, he's fought like everybody. Rory Markham, he's fought. Colby Covington, Anthony Pettis, Daniel Strauss, Pat Curran. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on.
See,
Dude's been at Anthony Rocco Martin, Gerald Mearshart again. Mearshart gets some revenge. Michael Quinones. I mean, just who's who. Valuable commodity.
Shaheen does those pieces. I forgot what they're called. Like the guys who fought Jose Aldo, everyone that fought. Can you imagine Shaheen? We give him a little budget. He travels around the country. He does a piece on the night I fought Jay Ellis.
Shaheen is literally slacking me right now, saying that's his dream story, but he's not been able to get a hold of Jay Ellis.
I love stories like this. I think this is incredible. I think these are the main. If Vox sent me out and goes, no, what we want a good 45-minute documentary on Jay Ellis, I would be so down, because I think that's so fascinating.
Casey, this is it. This is the moment right here. Shaheen can't get him. He's a ghost. There's only one way to summon Jay Ellis. How do you summon Jay Ellis? You fight.
Casey,
you have to fight Jay Ellis, and this will happen. You have to fight Jay Ellis, and it will happen. This is how you summon Jay Ellis. Call him out.
Do it in Massachusetts. Do it for Cage Titans. Let's make it happen. Mike Pulver, get Casey on the phone.
Jay Ellis, you and me. I'm putting my O on the line. I'm ready for you, Jay Ellis. Ready.
Wow.
Pick up the phone. Sign the contract, Jay. Sign the contract. I'm out.
Oh my God. I did honestly.
Amazing.
I did not expect this preview show to go down this way.
This is it.
Love every second of it.
I'm cutting weight right now. I'm a shredded 170 right now. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to go.
It's how it's gonna happen, and Shaheen's gonna be there.
He weighed
to document everything.
He weighed 162.4 in his last fight, Casey.
All right, I can. Yeah, 155. Let's do it. Give me 3 weeks. I'm 170 right now. I'm cutting for a jiu-jitsu tournament on Sunday. So keep the weight down. I'll get my plastic medal on Sunday, and then I'm coming for you. Coming for you, Jay. Go! Let's go, Jay.
Damn.
This is incredible.
This is it. This is it. This is the moment.
I'm hyped.
Well done.
All respect, Jay. All respect.
I guess shout out to J Ray B02 for like planting the seed here, and that has sprouted into Casey versus JLS, and we finally get the JLS story.
Casey calls out Jay Ellis is going to be the headline for this preview show. It's going to be incredible.
All right. Apparently, we have some other super chats and questions about other.
I guess
ultimate fighting. Yeah. All right, but I could roll the credits now, but all right, here we go. All right, super chats.
Let's take a MMA. Shout out New York Rick. Met you at Aljo's open workout. There you go.
Oh, man, that was a good time. Aljo and Marab put on a good workout there.
The Solra Klopp. Hi from Tijuana. I'll watch UFC 95 just so I have something to talk with you guys. But Gutierrez versus Lee can be fun. Casey, come to Entram to roll. There you go.
Oh.
Got the invite, Casey. Go.
Oh.
Prepare for Jay Ellis in Mexico.
Hey, solar. I want to say solar crap, but it's not. I know it's not that. Solra Klopp. Hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. Actually, Tijuana's not too far. It's only like 2 hours away. I'm actually down for this. I'm actually down for this. So hit me up. I am down. All right. Thank you much.
Love this.
All right.
Casey's
man,
career
I'm
right
booking fights. I'm getting training camps started. This is great. Great. Love it.
That playpen is where Achilles Jr. puts Rick down for his nappy.
That's great. That's great.
Lazy bed.
Wait, I went the wrong way. Let's give a little view. That's actually a crib, like a legitimate crib. That's where my son is sleeping these days. We've got some family in town, so I've been a little bit displaced. But yeah, my son's in that crib. But I will say, for it not having been Achilles Jr. like telling the joke, that was tremendous. In fact, like let's be honest, Achilles Jr. is like not that clever and not that funny. That was very funny. Well done, Lazy Bed. Good job.
Right.
Good joke.
Lazy Bed is a legend.
Since we don't have Jed here, what are we giving fart? What are we farting in this card?
Oh God. 0.5. This has to be the lowest ever, right? Like this just has to be. The main event's like what, a half?
Is it?
It's maybe.
But like
just because there's like some intrigue behind it.
Is it?
I think it's like a 1 at best, 1.5. Like if you're being
this is very generous.
Real nice. Like so generous. Like in a great mood, feeling good, 1.5. And yeah, I think Left Hook Larry might be bright. I think you get a half in the main event, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll give a half to your personal preference on another fighter because, like I said, I like Yusuf Salah. He beat the crap out of Billy Q his last fight, and I was shocked by that because I'm a big fan of Billy Q, and so I'm gonna give a half for Yusuf, but yeah, I give this a 1 fart, on a very positive day, a 1 fart card.
Yeah, I'll go 1. That's fine.
Yusuf Zalal feels to me like the fighter on this card who has a potential to be a top 5 in his division fighter, and then everybody else not, right? Like he feels like the one that, like, if you're gonna pick a guy to kind of break into a top of a division, it's probably him. Although I will say, like, I'm a big Chepe Mariscal fan. Like he's been sick since coming to the UFC, but I feel like he's gonna be in more fun fights than like the high rank fights. Whereas I feel like that Yusuf Zalal performance against Billy Q, I think, is like the sign of like that dude learned from washing out in the UFC and is ready to wreak some havoc.
Yeah. Yeah, Yusuf is good. Danny Barlow is probably on my list as well.
Oh, that's true. You know what?
That's an absolute killer. He did miss weight though. Let's see what we have here.
I forgot.
Wow. How about that? Don't have the fines just yet, but according to UFC.com/news, all 3 fights will go forward, including the Chelsea Chandler fight.
Yes.
How about that?
All right.
So for all who wanted 10 fights, boy, you're getting them. Getting all 10.
Well, Yana hasn't fought since July of 2023. She had a canceled fight against Norma Dumas, so it's like, you probably think she's going to take the fight no matter what.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else? Can you guys give a breakdown opinion of Chris Gutierrez's opponent, Quang Lee? You guys know a lot about?
I don't know anything about him.
There was a time where, like, when the Contender Series is cool, where I like really paid attention to the prospects, and there are certain ones that I do. I mean, I've seen highlights of his last couple knockouts, but dude's winning fights in LFA. I think he's like 5 or 6-0 in LFA, and that's pretty good. He's supposed to be on the Contender
Series. He spent like his whole time in LFA. Actually, he only has 1 non-LFA MMA
Oh,
fight,
that's true.
and LFA is a high level for a regional. So like, yeah, the dude's probably pretty good, but I could not tell you the first thing about him. I have not seen his fights, and so to me that feels like Chris Gutierrez is a rough one to jump right in there against. Like he's pretty damn solid, but I don't know much about him. This fight I'm intrigued by just because of the mystery around his opponent.
Yeah, just don't get leg kicked, and you might win. But if you get leg kicked,
Yeah,
you're
he's good
done.
with those leg kicks. He is
done.
good with those leg kicks.
No, he's young. He's hungry. He's good. He's on a nice little streak. Yeah, he's 7-0 in Alpha A. Well, he's 32, so he's not that young. But hey, opportunity's knocking. Let's see what he can do. A lot of people are very excited about him. They feel like he's a sneaky good dog pick this week.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, because usually, UFC likes to sign the LFA champions, and as far as I can tell, he wasn't like an LFA champion. He just kind of kept fighting in the undercards and the prelims, but never actually fought for the belt. But he kept winning, and I guess just right place, right time, and he got the call. And this is a big opportunity to go from a guy we've never heard of to, and if he beats Chris Gutierrez, he of all the fighters on the card,
he might be a ranked bantamweight if he wins this fight.
And so yeah, and this is a dangerous fight for Gutierrez, and big opportunity for Kwang. We'll find out, I guess. All right, thank you much. I didn't see the weigh-ins, but
supposed to fight. Who's he supposed to fight? Javid Basharat, that's what it was.
Oh, that makes sense.
Stupid hair Tybura, new mythical fighter.
Does he still have
He's
that
had
little
the stupid hair for forever. That's not like new.
Really? I thought that was kind of very recent.
Really?
Stupid.
Nah, the half comb over thing. Yeah, he's had that for a while. I feel like.
Right.
Wait, does he have a new stupid hair? Is it not a half comb over? Did I miss the? Maybe there's like a new version. Hold on, I'm gonna look up the weigh-in.
I have to look up the
photos.
weigh-in. Yeah. Let's see what he looks like.
No, it's like opposite of stupid hair. It's like a normal haircut.
Oh, then he's losing.
Yeah.
I'm changing my pick.
It just looks like he's got a high fade.
Yeah, he's got like bordering on what's it called, like the military, like nothing on the sides type deal. But yeah,
high and tight. I feel like Marcin Tybura's hair is like a decade behind where it should be. I feel like in the 2000s he was like early 90s, and now he's almost like the little spike up fro hawk high and tight thing from like 2010. So by 2030, I can't wait to see what his hair looks like.
That is so funny. It's like exactly a decade. It's like he's exactly 1 decade behind. That's great. I like that.
I bet in like 2000 he had a rat tail, just like I did in like the 91.
Mike, heck with the rat tail. Do we have any photos of this?
So no, I think I honestly, because my oldest brother used to love the rat tail because he used to like pull on this stuff, and then eventually I was just done with it, and I think he still has it. Like I cut it and put it in like a lunch bag. No, I think like when I got the haircut and got it cut off, he told my mom that he wanted it. So I think we put it in like a Ziploc bag, and I think he still has it somewhere.
You were not kidding when you said your brother loved the rat tail. He loved the rat tail. Like,
oh yeah, he loved it. He was a big fan of it. Big fan. I think he still has it somewhere, which is crazy to think about.
I mean, I just want to see a photo.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can find one.
Like now, me and Rick will talk while you go find one. Like,
we'll talk.
We have nothing else to do.
We'll break down Casey versus Jay Ellis. We'll do like a full.
I will tweet. I will find one and I will tweet it out.
Yes,
once
we did it,
and I will tag you both.
Yes. All right. Don't tag me on Twitter because I'll never see it. But all right. What do we got? What else we got here?
Take a couple more and then we got to go.
This is Apex related.
Rumor on the water cooler is starting in November. We'll be having an 8 to 9 month break from Apex events. All road shows due to new construction. Thoughts from the panel?
I'm not aware of this, but
well, I mean, I know the great Kenny Hathaway had tweeted a photo not that long ago of sort of a dirt area within the Apex that they're looking to like expand the building. And I know Dana's said in the past that he wants to put seats in there and make it a little bit bigger, which I think they should do. Put some bleachers in there, like legit. Put it so you could have 1,000, 2,000 people in there.
Which
they can do it.
WWE's done it.
100%.
WWE's done it. Yeah. It looked awesome when I think WWE had NXT in the Apex, and it looked really good. Like this is what
that was the best it's ever looked.
Yeah. Dude, they put
the crowd didn't give a shit about what was happening, but it looked great on television. Yeah. It looked great.
So yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Dana will talk about it.
That doesn't sound right, though, right? Like they couldn't go away from the Apex for that long. I don't feel like, but maybe. This is news to me. I'm not aware of this.
Yeah. I mean, where you think? Where do you put Serghei Spivac versus Marcin Tybura 3 after Spivac wins this one? You know they're gonna have to do a trilogy fight. Can't do it at the Apex. Where are you gonna do it?
I feel like it's one of those fights. It'll be the co-main event for the next Salt Lake pay-per-view. All right. One more question about this card.
Lock of the week for the Apex card.
Yusuf Zalal.
Damn. I mean, I could just go chalk and go Chris Gutierrez. Yusuf Zalal is a really good pick.
Zalal, according to Topology, is the biggest favorite. He is 96% are picking Zalal.
He's minus 600.
Oh, wow.
Zalal minus 425.
Yeah.
I'll go Danny Barlow. I feel pretty good about Danny Barlow.
Even with the weight miss?
Yeah, it's quarter pound. I'm not too concerned.
Quarter pounds are iffy because we don't. If he get made because he couldn't cut that quarter pound. So to me, that his coach, Barlow's coach, has been tweeting everybody and like basically on all the tweets that says Danny Barlow missed weight by 171 or people saying like he's not going to recut. His coach is just basically commenting on everybody's post saying the doctor wouldn't let him cut. That's what I figured.
Even though he wanted to. So.
Yeah.
But to Casey's point, I get more scared of the ones where they can't cut the last little bit and clearly tried than the people who blew it by 3.5 to 5 pounds and don't give a shit. Like I get more concerned from that perspective. Mm-hmm. But again, maybe it was just that little ounce of extra couldn't come off. But I do, my ears perk up more. I give more attention to like the close misses than I do to the like guys or girls who just blow it.
I pay attention to when they weigh in. Do they weigh in at the first 15 minutes and miss weight in the first 15 minutes, or do they suffer to the last moment and they still miss weight?
That's right. Yeah, that's a good call.
I think he was pretty early on.
That's where the doctor.
He probably thought he was on. If it sounds like a situation where he probably just thought he was on weight and just missed it.
Yeah, and there's always a risk for those fighters because sometimes when they try to cut that extra quarter pound, the doctors would then deem them unfit to fight and things like that. So you have to be very careful how you present yourself around the doctors when you're cutting weight because you hear all the time, and this is very true, fighters kind of passing out, kind of fainting during their weight cuts. But as long as no doctors are around, they can kind of recover and everything. But then unfortunately, every once in a while, what was the Stoliarenko that passed out on the scale?
Yep.
Yeah, because she just got kind of dizzy. And I get it too because that fight got canceled, right? Because of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And because it happened in front of doctors and these things like I was in a sauna the other night and I stood up too fast and I got really lightheaded and you just and it wasn't that I couldn't I cut too much weight. You just have to be careful in those moments,
That one's a very extreme one because not only in front of the doctors, but literally in front of everybody on camera.
Oh yeah, you just
that
couldn't.
One's rough.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's people who pass out backstage and they're like, "Nah, you're not fighting."
Yeah. Passing out. I guess passing out and getting lightheaded are two different things. Yeah, I'll get lightheaded a lot, and ooh, I couldn't run upstairs right now. But it's just what was the question? Oh yeah, about the guy's weight cut. Sorry, we kind of drifted off that.
Michael Chandler has reacted to Chelsea Chandler missing weight on Twitter, saying, "Chandlers don't miss weight, Chels." See at the top.
Still relevant.
Yes.
Oh, super. Oh, look at this.
Oh, sweet. Casey, I'll hit you up. I'll see you in TJ, and we'll start the road to Lewis versus Leiden. BMF semi-pro.
Let's go. Let's go.
Love this.
All right.
Love this. I'll find a rat tail photo if I can find it in my house somewhere. Sad news in the pro wrestling world. Kevin Sullivan passed away at the age of 74. Tough news.
Oh, actually, it's a bit. If we're gonna talk tough news, I want to ask you about this. Any feelings or opinions on the CrossFit Games?
Oh my God, man, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It's really sad. But I don't. Just. Do you hear
Does
about
anybody
this, Eric?
feel like filling me in? I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
No.
You want to tell the story?
So the CrossFit Games finals are going on now in Texas, and there was a swimming event yesterday, and one of the athletes had died in the swim. He drowned. Pretty much drowned. Yeah.
I don't
know,
high
like,
level
all the
CrossFit.
facts. Yeah, he's a former lifeguard, so the guy could swim.
Former
Perfectly
Serbian water polo player. Yeah, like
damn.
Yeah.
So no one really knows, but I guess you could see him struggling, and like I guess a fan tried to jump in the water and try to save him, but the lifeguard was like, no, get back, like, because you never know.
No.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know if it's like just a maniac going out as a fan, or something really happening and no one could really tell. So I was surprised they were doing swimming events for this, because
what I saw, like one of the major, well, actually the lifeguard thing was a major concern, but according to CrossFit, they put the swimming in the middle. And if you ever watch a triathlon, the Olympic triathlon, swimming is always at the beginning because of the inherent danger of, drowning. That's why you don't put it in the middle, you don't put it at the end. And apparently they had swimming in the middle or something of the event. And so they ran like 3 miles in the Texas heat. And then, unfortunately tragedy happened. So, just kind of, since you're kind of more part of that world, I don't know.
That was an alert that was an ESPN alert on my phone. I didn't expect to see yesterday, but I saw it, and obviously was working out this morning, and it was water cooler talk there about what happened, and it just sucks, man. It sucks.
Yeah,
terrible.
Damn.
But
condolences to that guy's family. That's horrible.
100%.
Anything in this on a positive note? Sorry, didn't get 2 deaths.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We're gonna have a fantastic Jay Ellis story at MMA Fighting sometime in the near future, because Casey is signing up to fight. So this is the positive outlook.
Right.
And also, like, number 8 versus number 9. Anybody? Heavyweight main event for you on Saturday? Anybody?
And a very competitive main event. Very competitive. Tapology. 49-51. Yeah, it's a great.
You're gonna write that book? You're gonna write that book? You're gonna write that book? Friends become enemies. Enemies become friends. You write that book?
I don't even know the actual lines, but I do know the incantation, the going upward.
Family Guy's given us so much over the years.
When it was good, it was good. Man, Family Guy.
Yeah.
When it was good, it was good.
Everyone just kind of runs out of material. Unless you're South Park, you can never go wrong with South Park.
It's too long.
And the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How did it start?
I haven't watched episode 1 yet. I've been saving it, but like I'm going on a cruise. I'm going on a cruise on Sunday. And so, like, we have family around. There's been a lot of things taking me away from the challenge, but I will get to it, and I'm very excited about it. Season 40, baby.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Just like UFC Vegas 95, Casey and I will be back tomorrow for the People's Pre-Fight Show. Just follow along with us. We get you covered. For Casey, for New York Rick, I am Mike Heck. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy birthday, AK.